Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corbin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Oh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Chinook Eatery. This is episode 543. I'll be your host, Kyle Corbin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Casey, how are we? Did you throw a little filter on this? Why are we looking this way?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel glamorous right now. My skin's glowing.
Well, fresh off a trip to California, I feel like you would be glowing a little bit. Get a little sunshine.
Oddly enough, dude, I guess they call it like June gloom or something like that. We came into town yesterday morning at like.
Oh, I'm looking right now at a picture from your trip. Nate Reyes looking sharp.
Yeah.
Rocking some J's on a.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and call it a yacht.
It is a yacht. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
All right. So for those unfamiliar, my company does annual party, and my company's based out of Rancho Cucamonga, and which is a fun name. It's a fun name for a city, I think. Cucamonga. And then the other half is obviously here in Arizona. So all of our Arizona people, we all go out there. We go down to Newport Beach, and they rent like one of those tiered yachts. So there's like 3 stories. First story is like a bar lounge area. Middle story is like where they set up tables and you have dinner. And then there's like that upper deck, right? So before this party, they announced like, hey, we're going to do raffles. We're going to do prizes, right? And we don't know. No one's told like what the prizes are. We don't like hear anything, right? So we show up to the boat and they make it like a casino night. So that's why we're all kind of like fancy dressed, right? And I was actually underdressed. Everyone else is like wearing a tie, and I was like, yikes. But anyway, we show up and it's casino night, so it's like fake play money, and they like hired dealers and they have like tables set up so you can play blackjack. I learned how to play craps, which is like super fun. Like when you figure out the rules of craps, it's fun. You just like everyone's like on the same team. You kind of just root for the whole table. Whoever's rolling the dice, like you're rooting for them, right? Anyway, but the way to win the raffle is you walked in. They give you like a $500 bill, and you buy your chips with it, and then you play games and like try to build up, and then they'll pay you out where you get one raffle ticket per $100. So I ended up doing pretty well. I think I had like 11 tickets. So I turned the 500 into 1100. Paige also did well. I think she had 900, something like that. So between the two of us, we had 20 tickets. And there's 4 prizes. Okay. So I'll tell you what the prizes were after, but we're like sprinkling the tickets in. You're kind of like divvying it up. We're like one of the last people to put them in. Containers like shaking or whatever. So they go through, we're having dinner. They announce like all the stuff, right? And read off the ticket, and dude, we won.
What did you win? Did you win a new house?
A 5-day cruise.
Shut up!
To Cabo in January.
Are you for real?
That's serious, dude. Insane.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's insane. One of the companies we partner with paid for this. The other stuff they had Dodgers tickets, they had Suns tickets. They had like 2-day thing at like Disneyland, and then this. But when they announced it, everyone was like, I'm going to Cabo. I'm going to go. Like everyone had their significant others. So everyone's like gambling. They're like everyone's super into it. You're like, Cabo, like everyone's everything. Anytime a bet hits, like Cabo, we're just all rooting. And dude, we put our tickets in, and sure enough, Paige was technically the one that won. It was her ticket. But yeah, nuts.
Living the life.
Nuts, dude. 5-day cruise sets out in January.
What a
Insane.
life. What a life. Good for you.
Insane, dude. So good weekend, honestly, because we were both pretty not feeling it, because it's a 6-hour drive. So we left yesterday morning. We woke up at like 5 and left at like 5:30. Got there, had some hours to kill before the party, and then turned around and left this morning. So it was like, dang, like 12 hours in the car for a 3-hour party. But I think we came out on top.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's a fair. I'll take that trade.
I think we still won. So
congrats, man.
Thanks.
That's big stuff.
Insane. Yeah, pretty cool.
Living the life.
Living the life.
You want to talk some ball?
Yeah, I'm on a high right now. Let's do it.
Well, I'm gonna bring you right back down to earth. We're gonna talk Corbin Burns, set to undergo TJ, putting a bow, rather ugly bow, on the first year of his shiny new 6-year, $210 million contract. Huge blow for a team that you had in the World Series.
Winning
the World Series.
Yep.
Huge blow for a team that I think a lot of people had high hopes for, who, let's be honest, not on top of their game at the moment, all things considered. But this is not good news, considering the rest of your staff right now is kind of cheeks.
Yeah.
Merrill Kelly, aka what was it, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson from the World Baseball Classic. That's the only
I don't follow what you're talking about.
That's the only correlation I have with Merrill Kelly. Remember World Baseball Classic making what I believe was a start in the semifinals.
Oh, yeah. Where it's like gonna put his name,
Pegging,
his name in
well, yeah, in American history with like Thomas Jefferson or something. Guy goes out and has like a mediocre start at best, I think. Anyway, he's your best guy staff wise, pitching to a tune of 3.43, 6-2. But Zach Gallen is not Zach Gallen. Coming in today, an ERA of 5.06. Brandon Pfaadt, one of the worst pitchers in baseball as of late. He's pitching to a tune of 5.51. But this is a brutal blow for the Diamondbacks of Arizona.
It is. You thought that the hole was filled this offseason with that move. You know what I mean? Like, hey, offensively we're solid, right? Best in baseball last year. Pitching, if we could be middle of the road top 10, we're good, right? So they go and they make the moves they're supposed to make. They get depth. And it's just been weird. Like, I don't know where the credit, or I should say blame, lies. But like, dude, the whole point of this, I felt like, was like a go year, because in my mind, I don't think they bring back Zach Gallen coming into the season. I think that was the mentality, right? And I compared it to like when the Red Sox went and got Trevor Story and Xander was on his last year. And it felt like that kind of thing, where it was like, hey, let's like soften the blow by going and getting our ace. And then we like still have that last year of our current ace. You know what I mean? I think that was the mentality of the Diamondbacks. And that's where I was like, this is great, man. Like in my mind, as far as 1-2 punches go in the league, coming into this year, it was like Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, Garrett Cole, Max Fried. You know what I mean? Like that was like, hey, 1-2 punch. That's insane. Gallen down year and Burns, man, like this is tough news. This is hard to take. And they've put themselves in a hole early in the first third of the season, I think we're about. It's not good, man. I don't know how to spin this in a positive way. I know their offense is always going to be there, but like,
well,
how
to
do you
that
replace
point,
this?
to that point, still a top 5 offense in baseball at this moment in time, and bottom third, I guess you could say, in terms of what you're getting out of your staff across all of baseball. So I don't know. With the way the Padres are playing this year, it seems as though they're building off of the momentum that they, well, aside from the year not ending the way they wanted it to, all things considered, building off the momentum from last year.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's June.
It's June.
It's June.
No disrespect.
But when do we start? It's June. But like we also said, June can mean it's early, but also June is the point where we start having real hard, sometimes difficult conversations about players and teams about, okay, is this who they really are? Sure, there's time to make things up. But for the Diamondbacks, when do we start having the conversation that maybe they're like hovering around being a 500 team? Yeah. Which is not going to fly, obviously, in that division. But with the rest of the National League looking the way that it does, it's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to make anything happen.
You really can't. You really can't. Like it's, especially with the Central, just all kind of hovering around that same. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say the Central is as good as the West, but the Central is just as deep as far as middle of the road, 500. You know what I'm saying? Like if there is a 87, 88 win team in the Central, I feel like that team has a better chance of getting in than the Diamondbacks do right now, especially after this blow. So I don't know how to spin this, man. Like I don't think their bullpen's great. They're not taking care of business at home. I think they're sub 500 at home too. And that just can't happen. It's not going to work.
Yep. Sub 500 on the home or at home and on the road.
So, but
here's what's interesting: 17-24 at this moment against teams over 500. So you're not playing good ball against good ball.
Yeah, you need to at least compete, and it's just not good enough.
Did you see by chance, which you were busy this weekend, so probably not, but did you by chance see the clip of him? Of like the lip reading? I
did. Yeah, he's like, my elbow's shot. It's done.
He said, my elbow's dead.
Yeah.
That, you hate to see that, man.
Oh, it's such a scary, freaky thing, I bet. It's probably just like always in the back of your mind as a major league pitcher, especially if you haven't had the surgery yet. Like hey, it's back there. It's just a matter of time. It's almost like a when, not if. That's probably what most pitchers start to feel.
Well, that kind of brings up a question, and I hate to be this guy, but like we were talking about before we hopped on, I've been known to float a conspiracy or two.
Always down to put fuel on that fire.
Do we think that there was a little, let's just call it awareness on the part of the Baltimore Orioles that maybe wasn't made fully public or made aware to the rest of the baseball world?
I'm not in the position to give the Orioles any credit.
I
refuse. I'm not in that camp. Maybe there is someone in that camp. But I doubt it. I doubt it.
I just want to say I don't believe that to be the case, but I have seen that floated around.
I think a better conspiracy would be like, hey, did Corbin Burns know something was going to happen? That's why he wanted to be at home. Like, is that why he asked the Diamondbacks to pitch in so he could be at home whenever the inevitable happened? I'm just playing. Obviously, it sucks. Not laughing matter of somebody
no, of course
going
not.
through that, but it's just the way our game is, man. It's kind of inevitable. It sucks that big names. It's happening to big names. It sucks that it's happening to names in their prime. And it sucks that like we don't know. I think we take for granted sometimes where like we see this surgery so much that we're like, oh, just get it done, come back, be stronger. But we don't know. You know, like we don't know that. We don't know that every guy is poised to be better when they come back. You hear those stories and you kind of hope. So it's tough that this is the beginning of the contract. It's tough that there doesn't seem to be any reinforcements. No one's like filling that gap. And, you know, if I use that same 1-2 punch as an analogy, obviously with Garrett Cole going down with the Yankees, like Max Fried has stepped up into that. We don't know if Zach Gallen is going to flip that switch and be able to become that, because so far it doesn't seem like he's that guy this year.
No, Zach Gallen's been a shell of himself, but
Yeah.
it's a bigger conversation than just the 2025 Diamondbacks. Really,
I was going to ask how much I mean, at this point, he's probably going to miss the start of the year next year, right?
Oh, they're talking.
All of next year?
I've already seen speculation float around that we won't see Corbin Burns until 2027. Because I saw that the initial thought is that it's going to be longer than a 12-month timetable for him in his specific case. So who's to really say? And it's a situation where maybe they try to milk it.
Yeah.
Just make sure he's fresh for 2027 rather than try to expedite the process for 2026. Who's to really say? But that's just what I've seen thus far. But like I was saying, it's not even it's even bigger than the 2026 2027 Diamondbacks. This issue talking about the health of these arms, I think we mentioned the note on here a while back when the last time we talked about Tommy John.
We're good for it every other month, it seems.
There were more TJs. Hold on. I want to make sure I got this right. At the end of
wheels.
as of 2024, 36% of all active major league pitchers had undergone Tommy John surgery. And where was it? There were more Tommy John surgeries in Major League Baseball in 2024 than in the entire decade of the 1990s.
Something's got to give, man.
In 2023, 35.3% of Major League pitchers had undergone surgery, a 29% increase from 2016.
Something's got to give. But we hear everyone wants to call them old heads, but we hear guys in the booth like a John Smoltz and David Cohn. We hear these guys that say like you can't just throw. Like we got to get back to pitching. Also, I'm not saying I was for Spider Tack, but like if we don't come up with a solution to help these guys get a grip on a baseball, this may be what's going to continue to happen. And Tyler Glasnow has come out and talked about that too, right? Like I'm having to hold this and grip it harder because I don't have that grip. And who knows what that's doing. On top of that, we have a pitch clock. On top of that, we have guys that are coddled through the system and rarely go over 100 pitches. We have guys that are at innings limits. There has to be some type of adjustment in the mentality and adjustment in philosophy.
That's what it is. It's
get
just
back to pitching. Stop chucking it as hard as you can.
It's this a new obsession in baseball with arbitrary benchmarks. Like, gotta reach 100, or else why bother taking the ball?
Yeah,
you got to be able to hit the ball 485 feet. Or why bother? Like we talk about it all the time. Fundamentals still matter, folks.
That's
what
100%.
What good does it do to chase velo if you're going to be on the shelf for 16 months because you can't lift your arm? Like
100%. And that's why I don't mean to always bring it back to the Yankees. It's just
yeah, you do.
It comes to mind, but like they were talking on the broadcast the other day about Ryan Yarbrough, where it's 92, 93. You know what I mean? And they're like, this guy doesn't get drafted. No. This guy he just doesn't even get picked up anymore. Like it's a good thing he came up when he did, because if he was pitching in youth baseball now, as in high school or college, like his career's done. And that philosophy has to change. Like it has to, I don't know how, I don't know who it's done by. I don't think we need to tailor the rules to sway their way. I don't think we need to talk about raising the mound or anything. I don't think we need to talk about broadening the strike zone. I think we need an actual philosophy on how we can attack hitters, how we can get hitters out. And it doesn't have to, because like at a certain point, hitters are freaks too, man. Like it doesn't matter if you're throwing 102. I'm going to turn that around. I'm going to time that up eventually. Find a different way. Find the old way of doing things, because God forbid we try something that worked for decades. There's a reason our game is what it is now. We can't just sit here and say, oh, old head, like baseball sucked back then. Oh, the only reason Babe Ruth hit these many home runs is because they were throwing so slow. It's like the game is now, it is what it is because of all of those occurrences, all of those mindsets, all of those pitches invented, all of those grips and movement and all of those things. It's the whole point. It's trying to get hitters out. It's not about having as many strikeouts as humanly possible, as many swings and misses as humanly possible. And this is why, like, you can, if we lose you as a fan, if we lose you as a listener, like, I'm sorry, but there's a reason why you and I talk baseball IQ. We talk fundamentals. We talk things that make our game what it is. And when you just sit back and rear back as hard as you can over and over again, that to me isn't impressive. That's not the impressive part. Go watch tape of Greg Maddux and try to do what he did. Manipulate pitches. Paint the black. Get guys out a real creative way.
I know you've seen the videos of, we don't need to go down this rabbit hole, but I know you've seen the videos of the pull downs, right?
Yeah.
Into the net.
It's insane.
With a radar
The kids
sitting
are 13.
right there in front of your face, taking 16 crow hops to max out to hit your PR. What do we do? Like, I will never be convinced that that is beneficial. I'm sorry. And I'm sure there's people that are in pitching labs that would disagree. And
Oh, yeah,
they know
for sure.
they know more than me, but I'm like 99% sure that there's zero benefit to that, and in fact, it is only detrimental. Anyway, let's keep the positivity rolling, and let's talk about how the Braves are some booty meat. Coming into today, 6-14 in their last 20 games. 6 straight losses entering today. And their last 3 losses entering today, you give up a 7-run comeback in the 9th. You lose on a walk-off wild pitch. And you lose on a walk-off home run. That's the Atlanta Braves of 2025. They were who we thought they were, I guess, at the start of the year. I don't know.
Yeah.
After their 0-7
to
start the year.
And they brought back Craig Kimbrell for a day.
For like an hour. Bro, did you see this? Okay, so here's the series of tweets that I saw from the Braves. Now pitching for your Atlanta Braves, number 46, Craig Kimbrell, hashtag Braves country. Next tweet, final, Giants 5, Braves 4. Next tweet, the hashtag Braves today recalled left-handed pitcher Austin Cox to Atlanta and designated right-handed pitcher Craig Kimbrell for assignment. That's a 3-tweet series.
Oh, boy.
I got some more for you. Entering Sunday, the Braves have lost 9 consecutive 1-run games and 12 consecutive games decided by 2 runs or fewer. They lead all of baseball with 18 1-run losses. They're not good.
Brother.
The team, the fans are already looking forward. They've already blown the lead in this game. They were just up 3-1. It's now 4-3. Ho! Braves are not good. I tell you what.
Dude. I don't believe they have a ton of prospect capital, do they? Like I don't know if their farm is in great shape. I'm not going to avoid blaming players because there's always blame there. Did we give Alex Anthopoulos too much credit as a GM?
In regards to roster construction, are you saying it's less than what he deserved credit for?
I mean, that's a part of the job is roster construction. It's not the whole job. Because it's not just about the big league roster. You know what I mean? Like, so Freddie Freeman wanted to be a Brave. Max Fried, I think, probably could have stuck around if everything made sense. I don't see how things can get turned around quickly without potentially deconstructing this core a little bit. I don't know who needs to move. I don't know how to fix this.
It's been well documented on this podcast. One of my biggest issues with the Braves was that they failed to address the shortstop vacancy in a significant way. Like, sure, you can fill it with some stopgaps here and there, but you had a chance to actually go out and spend a significant amount of money on. I mean, Willie Adames, say what you will about the guy, but like you had a chance to spend money on somebody. not just this past offseason, but off seasons prior, and you chose not to, which we all know the value of the shortstop position, failed to do that. You're now alternating starts behind the dish, which, call me an old head, I would like to see a little more consistency behind the dish, not just for the sake of who is receiving baseballs back there, but also for your staff to have a little bit more consistency.
Yep.
I'm all for a guy getting a day off every, third, fourth, fifth day, but like every other start, Sean Murphy, Drake Baldwin I don't know. I'm not a big league manager, but some of these things I'm just like, I don't know how, in what world this philosophy or approach makes sense. And that's one of the examples. I don't know.
When does Snit get fired?
Well, you bring up the point about Anthopoulos. I've been trying to get a feel for where Braves fans are at or on that matter.
They turning on him?
Turning on Snit, but also the ones that are able to look at it with, a slightly wide, look at things through a slightly wider lens, or looking at Anthopoulos being like, you can't pin this entirely.
No, not at all. I don't agree. I
Snit.
do agree with that. Sorry. I don't think it's all on him.
Very similar situation in Boston. I mean, apples and oranges slightly, but Baltimore, like there are similarities, we'll say, where it's like you look at some of the indecision on behalf of these front offices. You look at the lack of moves, lack of roster construction, as we mentioned, and it's really hard to pin that on a manager who's just going out there and doing what he can with what he has. We've said this time and time again over the last few months.
That's why I was asking about their prospect capital, because like they're not very deep. And like I don't think this team is salvageable with a couple deadline moves. I think there's more holes in this team than that. But I don't know what the answer is. And a point that I was going to bring up about the Diamondbacks as well is like, this team has some pieces. And if they're sellers at the deadline, there's some pieces that could be moved that could really, really boost some other ball clubs that have a chance this year. So that's interesting to pay attention to as well. And that's a part of, I would say that's a part of Alex Anthopoulos that we haven't quite seen yet. You know what I mean? Where are the seller Braves? Like where are the Braves that are packing it in for the year and trying to reload that farm?
Haven't really had an opportunity.
They haven't. And that's a good thing. Like,
no doubt.
Like, we're not far removed from a trophy hoisting. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that this is like burn it all down and start over, but I am saying that like, how do you
retool, reload for 2026?
Exactly. And is that done at this deadline? Is it done in this off season? I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know this team well enough, but I can say that like there are guys that need to figure it out, man. Like Matt Olson needs to be Matt Olson, and I don't know. I don't think he's been terrible, but it's just like
he's leading the team in WAR. 13 jacks coming into today.
What's he hitting?
Not high. Well,
what's the OPS at?
OPS 802. So, like I said, not terrible, but
yeah, but not great. Like I think for them to go, it's like he's got to be a 900.
Yeah,
kind of OPS, a high 8s OPS.
Well,
and then you have Acuna, and then on paper it sounds great. On paper it's like, yeah, this team can show up and show out, but like they're not very deep. And when the inevitable happens, and yes, they've been plagued with injuries, but like That always happens.
But I don't know if what Bob Nightingale says is true, which
Rarely is the case.
Well, yes and no. Like we just
No
got
disrespect.
done. No disrespect, of course. We just got done talking about how we haven't seen a Braves reload and retool type of team. And again, for good reason, for their sake, you've been in contention every year, it seems, for however many of the last dozen years. But maybe their ego gets in the way at the deadline, because what Nightingale said is they're not expected to sell at the deadline, except Ozuna, who's going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
So maybe they tried it. They're like, let's just buckle down and try to make this thing work. And then we're sitting here next year, 2026, looking back at the deadline at 2025 and going, what were you thinking?
I had a Braves fan text me an article that about a month ago. That was very interesting. It was, should the Braves and Yankees swap Anthony Volpe and Ozzie Albies? This was a month ago. This was like still when the Braves could turn it around, kind of thing. Thought that was interesting. I looked up Ozzie Albies' contract. He's only got a couple years left. They're both club options.
It's like $7 left on that deal, right?
Yeah, there's really not much money there. So I think it would be silly to move somebody so affordable. And I'm not saying that move should happen, but it brings up the point of like, what name would you move? And how much is Ozuna really going to pull in? You know what I mean?
Right.
He's not gonna retool that farm system very quickly. You're kind of selling low on some of these names too. Michael Harris is disappointing. I'm sorry. I know I've said it. I don't mean to harp on it a ton, but like, I'm not seeing what all these Braves fans were telling me was coming. A lefty Acuna. I don't see it.
Did you hear that?
Yes. I had multiple Braves fans tell me that over the years.
Lefty Acuna?
Lefty Acuna.
Ho!
So we'll see. I'm very curious to see. Agreed. I'm very curious to see how things look at the deadline and what this team does. And I'm curious to see, is Alex Anthopoulos just really good at vending machine priced extensions for these players, or is he an all-around good GM? And I think it's going to be put to the test of this deadline if they don't figure it out.
I think the conversation we need to be asking is whether or not Francisco Lindor is washed. He's now 0 for 5 against the Rockies, and the Mets are up 10-2. When do we start having the conversation of whether or not Frankie Lindor needs to hang him up?
Those days piss me off so bad in fantasy, by the way, where the team, like your player just doesn't do anything, but the team pops off for like 11 runs, and you're like, really? You couldn't get me? He's like -2. You're like, couldn't get a ribby in there somewhere.
It's like a walk, hit by pitch, yeah. 4 Ks. Yeah, I know those days. Those days. Yeah. Let's talk on the flip side about a team that's playing well. Well, of course, naturally they drop their game today. Who Bowden Francis apparently not good.
Yeah,
not good. Apparently they would have. I saw that they would have. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong here. That they would actually have a 10-game winning streak right now if Bowden Francis was not on the team. I guess technically 11.
That's tough.
If they hadn't lost to start today, but entering today, they were 9-1 in their last 10, 14-6 in their last 20, and they were riding a 4-game win streak before the loss today. George Springer, coming into the final day of the weekend, had 5 homers in his previous 9 games.
Bowden Francis.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Confirmed. Not good.
Giving up, what is that? So his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starts, he has given up 6, 12, 16 runs.
What's his ERA right now? What's he sitting
30 hits. 6.12.
Yeah, not good. But the team otherwise playing very well. Tyler Heineman, specifically, his last 30 games, slashing 404, 418, 558.
That kid the truth or what?
Over the Jays offense over their last 17 games coming into today, first in F4, third in homers, second in weighted runs created plus, third in walk rate, first in strikeout rate, second in hard hit percentage, fifth in barrel percentage, first in average exit velo, second in WOBA, first in ex-WOBA. Shout out Marsha the second Zach on Twitter.
I'm still trying to figure out what WOBA and ex-WOBA.
XYZ WOBA created plus. My personal favorite. No, but the Jays heard what I said. What was it last episode? The episode before? I said
I was trying to bring it up, like, hey, they're in the hunt, and you're like, no, they're bad.
Yeah, no, the Jays suck for sure. The Jays, go ahead and no, it was last episode. I said etch it in stone, Sharpie it, whatever you want to do. Jay, this is not gonna last. Like we're propping up George Springer, who, let me confirm, is 35. We're propping up.
That's the back of an 80-year-old, though.
Back of an 80-year-old. We're propping up George Springer as one of the leading forces of this offense. Do we really think this is sustainable? I think not.
Dang, Vladdy's been kind of disappointing.
Yeah. So
8 home runs, a 797 OPS.
Proving my point.
George Springer is the only one outside of Heineman with an an OPS over 830. Everyone else is below. Yikes.
You're proving my point.
Bo Bichette. Not great, not bad, just middle of the road. Yeah, I'm kind of with you, guy. I'm kind of with you.
It's not sustainable.
It's just a little hot streak. Let's not overreact,
Everybody gets those. The Pirates are on they're riding their first 3-game win streak of the season, which, hey, you know what?
Don't do it.
You know what? Shout out the Pittsburgh Pirates. Paul Skeens went 7-2 Thursday, gave up 1 run. It wasn't even earned, and they didn't lose the game. So you know what?
I would say Pirates ricochet, but that was just a headshot. Just a snipe.
They didn't lose the game. I did think it was funny though that they pulled Skeens before he finished 8 because they didn't want to have to deal with the 8-inning 1-run jokes anymore. They said no, it stops here. He's only going 7-2 thirds today. We weren't talking about the Pirates. We were talking about the Blue Jays. Yeah, to your point, to my point, to everyone's point, this is just a flash in the pan. Don't get excited, Jays fans.
Thanks for bringing me back down to earth.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Jays fans, but
I was getting a little.
Hey, great point in the chat. Skeens didn't even get the W. Very valid point. Like they he didn't get handed the loss, but couldn't even get the win. So that's Skeens. That's the life of a Pirate in Pittsburgh right now. Specifically, the life of Paul Skeens. Speaking of teams that, no, we don't need to talk about them again. I feel like we talked about them recently, but the A's, dude. We can revisit the A's.
What happened to my screen? Why is it dark? Did you go dark?
This episode is dark.
It kind of is. Let me make sure my battery's not going to die or something. It's on Yeah. All right. Maybe we flipped the switch. Hang on a sec.
Do you need to charge your computer?
No, I mean it's plugged in. It's just it's in one of those outlets that is connected to the light switch. And when Paige comes in here, she flips up and she doesn't pay attention. Just hang tight. Hey,
Get it?
Hey! Whose computer took a crap a couple episodes ago, and I had to hold it down for a few minutes by myself in the chat.
That's fair. That's
no
fair.
idea what was going on.
That's fair. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Good stuff.
See? Now my screen's bright again because my charger's working. See?
Just briefly, that's a beautiful thing. Just briefly here, the update on the ABS system for those wondering. The commish said Major League Baseball will propose automated ball strike challenge system for use at the big league level in 2026. It sounds like it's a very, very realistic possibility in terms of getting it passed, but what's going to serve as a potential deterrent is the impending CBA coming down the road. So I don't know, but it sounds like with the committee that has to make the vote that they have significant substantial support for it to pass. So it's very much a possibility that we're getting this sooner rather than later.
I feel like I should know this, but if it's before the CBA, this doesn't need the Players Association to get it passed. Correct? Like to get it approved?
According to The Athletic, the league office has enough votes on the 11-person committee, which is also made up of player representatives and one umpire, to push through what it wants.
Okay, so the committee is a combination of the Player Association, the umpire union, all kind of meshed in there. Gotcha. Okay, good deal. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised. I was going to say I thought that maybe the umpires would be like the ones against it, but maybe they're tired of catching heat. Just be like, you know what? Just tell me. It's just fine. Yeah. Can I call this from the dugout? Do I have to get back there? You know, can I just call balls and strikes from behind the mound like in high school inter-squad games? Good old days. Good stuff. How do you feel about it? I'm on the fence.
I did a lot of thinking about the state of the league with its rule changes over the weekend, as I was reading more about this proposed rule change. And I arrived at the conclusion that the one thing I feel like, who's to say if this is going to be a win or a miss? I don't know. I'm guessing if we're talking outcome, sure. I'm sure they're going to nail it on the head here with this one. But what I'm saying is where they missed is getting rid of the 4-pitch walk.
The intentional walk?
Yeah, sort of out of left field. But this is one of the things I was thinking about over the weekend, where I was like, because of I don't know, you definitely didn't see it, but the College Softball World Series, crucial play where they're trying to put somebody on, girl smokes it to the outfield, pivotal play. They go on to lose the game. Texas Tech goes on to lose the game. And then I was pulling up, this was even before that happened, but late last week, I was pulling up the clip of, I didn't pull it up, but I came across the clip of Miggy in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in this era where we're trying to save time with limiting mound visits,
this is the hill you want to die on? Out of all the rule changes, this is the one that you're...
No, not the hill that I want to die on, but I think this is one hindsight we can look back and say that this was actually a miss. Because, I mean, how much time are you really saving? How many intentional walks do we really have? Like, do we have on average in a major league game?
Yeah, it's a good point. Less than one.
And you're taking away a potentially impactful moment in a game. It's
True, and it's like a little yippee. You know what I mean?
That's
like
what I'm
pitchers get
saying.
a little yippee.
We've seen balls thrown away. We've seen hitters
thrown away.
We've seen a couple base knocks.
Put in the zone. We've seen maybe struggle to get back in the zone towards the next hitter. All right, you talked me into it.
Again, not the hill I want to die on, but as we're
Sure.
talking rule changes, this is one I think we can safely say we have enough clearance now. We have enough sample size to look back and say that was an L.
When are we getting a green or orange base in foul territory at first base? When's that coming?
I don't want to talk about it.
When's it coming? Because all it takes is for one superstar to get their knee blown out for that conversation to get it going again. Because like the Buster Posey collision rule wasn't a thing until Buster Posey, an MVP, goes down and his leg's broken. Now they're like, rule, right? So I'm just saying, we've seen a lot of injuries. We've seen a lot of collisions at first. We've already talked about how fundamentals are down in the game. And when it comes to what part of the bag first baseman scramble to, what part of the bag are the pitchers taking correct angles on them covering first, like all of those things are starting to come into play. And I'm just saying, like, we're seeing it in college. I'm not going to say I'm for it, but I'm struggling to see the point of being against it. Outside of it looking a little goofy.
It's a very reasonable take from Nate, I got to say.
Thanks.
Kind of catching me off guard with being like not necessarily against it.
Right. It's lukewarm take. If that. Room temperature take.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, whatever. It's just rip the Band-Aid off. It's coming. Why push this back further? Like just implement it next year and not have this be an added layer to what's already going to be a contentious CBA.
This is what bugs me, is that I feel like they ease into rules and it's like a half rule. So I agree with you. Just do it, you know? And it's kind of how I feel about the ABS system and the challenges and everything. It's like it's a half rule. Like you're wanting to implement it, but you're too scared to do the whole thing.
We've already talked about this at length in prior episodes, so we don't need to talk about it again. But one of my bigger takeaways is just the impact it's going to have on the art of catching, and you can speak to that a little bit more. But it's
terrible.
It's
already crap.
We're dumbing the game down to the point where it's just not going to be an enjoyable product to watch. It's going to lack so much nuance. Like we are eliminating so much nuance to the game to make it so that it can be consumed by 9 out of 10 people. But here's the thing.
7 out of those people don't care.
Exactly.
7 of those 9 don't care. I'm with you, pal. I do agree. And I think that's what, like, getting back to the philosophies thing, like catching is bad. And like no one seems to care about 90 feet being given up regularly all the time. I remember watching games and like maybe seeing one pass ball. It's rare. It's rare to have less. It's rare to just have one per game. You see a lot more than that. It's bad. All to steal low strikes. So maybe that is a trade-off with the ABS system, by the way. Like maybe that is of like, hey, or maybe just when it becomes fully automated and not challengeable, it's just fully automated strike zone. You're like, now that this catcher is no longer working on that part, maybe they can actually block baseballs and not get stolen on constantly. Maybe that, I don't know. It's a weird thing. We always talk about the ripple effect of these rules being implemented. So we'll see. We'll see.
We'll also see when Bryce Harper's going to return. Our sweet prince put on the 10-day.
Wrote me into this hour.
Put it on the 10-day shelf.
It's your sweet prince, dude.
Put on the 10-day.
When did sweet get brought in? It was just Prince.
No, is our sweet Prince Bryce on the shelf for 10 days. I think it's retroactive to the 6th, but that doesn't really make me feel any better. Right wrist inflammation. I think he was quoted.
I need you to change your fantasy team name.
No. I think he was. That's a great. That's a good. Well, I mean, to be fair, Barista Bryce Coffee Co. is a great. I take good pride in that name. That's a strong name, but I do
love it.
Our sweet Prince is a good alternative.
Braves fans hate this episode, by the way.
No, they're enjoying the misery loves company.
That's fair.
They're enjoying. Sometimes you get joy. You find positivity in rallying with other people to just pick apart why your team sucks. It's like we need to stop pretending. We need to call
Sometimes
a spade a
that
spade.
does feel nice. Yeah.
Yeah, like let's stop the game. Let's stop trying to like prop up this team to be more than something it is, because it's not. I think that's where Braves fans are at right now. Like we've got guys in our fantasy league who are like, burn it down, like hit the reset button. But yeah, Bryce was quoted either today or yesterday as saying like he can't really function on a baseball field right now, can't hit a ball. So not sure when the Phillies are going to get that back, which they kind of need because they kind of suck right now. I mean, as I mentioned, they just gave the Pirates their first 3-game win streak of the season. They got swept out of Pittsburgh. That's not good.
Did you see JT miss like 3 or 4 games from taking a Nutter Butter foul tip?
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Bro was out for a minute. He was out for days.
Understood.
It's crazy.
Understood.
There's some weird stuff going on.
Speaking of weird stuff, last thing I got here, did you by chance see that Dodgers ballpark meal floating around?
Mm-mm.
I don't know if they've had it all year or if this was like a recent addition to their menu, but they've got a 16-inch fully loaded hot dog that comes with a pound of fries. Let me see.
So the whole family eats? Is that a $50 meal? That's $50 all day.
Hold on.
It's no less than.
Here we go.
It's no less than $38.
Let me. Hold on. I need to.
It's my final guess.
I'm going to get this image up on the. For those of you watch on YouTube, let me get this up here on the screen. That's what we're working with.
That's gross, man.
Let me get a
bun that's long enough for it. It's just.
No, I disagree. I think having a comically long hot dog and a bun that doesn't fit really just adds to the novelty
bite
of it.
Sucks, and so does the last bite.
Yeah, you're getting nothing but wiener in those couple bites.
I'm not eating that. Can we find a price?
Hold on.
I need to know.
Let's see.
Do you like that line, by the way? Are you taking over under on that? 38. I'll go 38.99.
Wow. Hold on. Run that back one more time.
38.99. That's my line.
It's called the Slugger.
Okay.
16-inch fully loaded glizzy, as it says here, with a pound of fries for $39.99.
Hey!
Hey!
That's a solid guess right there.
That's
man.
phenomenal.
With 2 fried potatoes. 2.
Yep.
That's a lot of fries.
You're getting a pre-frozen wiener with a too small bun and a couple potatoes.
Corn and sour crema on top. What do we got?
Oh, yeah. Fully loaded, man. Calling it the slugger.
What though? Like we could say fully loaded as much as we want, but like, oh, that reminds me, dude. I saw something the other day, and it was the most genius thing. And I thought of you when you go to get like a regular hot dog, not this nonsense. When you get a regular hot dog,
I would eat this, by the way. I would buy this just to say I did. I just want that on record. I would eat this.
I probably would too.
Yeah, who are we kidding? Come on.
But when you get like a regular hot dog at the concession stand, and they have like the island of condiments like out of the line, right? Like you get your dog, you walk over there, put your stuff on it, right? This video, it's just wrapped in foil. Simple, basic, cheap hot dog.
Yeah.
Right? It's not in a container, it's foil. You get it, you load it up, but you don't want, if you close the foil, then you got all the mustard and whatever you put on it all over the inside of that foil and off the dog now, right? This genius is just, you see this video of them walking up, they put it on there. All they do is just spin the hot dog upside down. Foil. Done. And then you don't have all the condiments inside that foil. All they did was just spin it in the bun. And I was like, how are we just walking about life not using all of what's going on up top? Because I've never thought of that. How am I how am I able to tie my shoes in the morning?
You think
if I'm not able to just clearly think of this on my own?
You think ChatGPT is going to make this any easier?
I think I'm getting dumber every day. That's what I think.
A lot more smooth brains out there today than there were yesterday. I'll tell you that.
True. Yeah. Just saying.
Anyway, on that,
that's a smart move, though. Can we? Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Can we tip the cap there? Have you thought of that move before? Can you?
Well, I'm the wrong guy to ask because I'm a ketchup only guy, so I'm not really
Same
losing.
thing.
I'm not losing much anyway. Yeah, but like a little ketchup on the foil is not gonna kill me. In fact, it's probably better because there's probably a good chance I'm putting too much ketchup on the dog anyway. So really, the foil is doing me a solid by reducing the ratio a little bit. But
it's wild. Let's just get back to the days of packets. Just give me my packets and I'll walk back to my seat. I'll do the deed myself. It's probably not great for the environment. We need to start researching what our menu is looking like for the All-Star game, by the way, because I'd like to plan that meal out. I'd like to know what concessions to go to. I'd like to know where to go.
Yeah, we're going to have to fuel ourselves adequately because it's going to be a heck of a 4 days.
We need, like, when we get there, I think we should find like a salad and go just to get like some greens in our system before,
Yeah, we can't be. Oh, I say this. I already know how it's going to go, but
I know exactly how
in
it's
an
gonna go.
ideal world, we need to not be idiots like we were at the World Baseball Classic, but I would argue that it's probably going to be worse.
Could be.
And we're hitting the deep south. Like, you think the food there is going to have any element of healthiness to it? No.
Yeah. And it's not. World Baseball Classic, like, I was still coming home to Paige. You and I are just off the leash. We've been unleashed.
We're on our own
in the deep south.
We're on our own with a rental car. Are you kidding me?
To the car.
We literally could go anywhere we want. We could go to Waffle House 4 nights in a row if we really wanted to.
We will go to Waffle House one night for sure. Shake on it.
You really want to do that?
Can't see why not. I feel like it's better there. I'm not a big breakfast guy though.
Well, that's why you go late at night.
It's not about the time of breakfast. I think breakfast food is overrated.
That's a crazy take. I mean, it's not my favorite meal, but that's still a crazy take.
It's my least favorite meal, hands down.
That's even a crazier take. It was in the chat demanded that we film banter at the Waffle House. I feel like a Waffle House chapter on the vlog would do well.
I feel like the people that work at Waffle House have put up with and seen so much that they're just numb to whatever occurs.
Yeah, like, oh, there's 2 guys over there recording a podcast. Cool.
Sounds great. As long as they tip well.
I wish I could, wish I could go over and say, hey, but I got to go break up this fight between 17 45-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts. Maybe we don't. But my crazy, I could be totally wrong on this. And I know you're not. I feel all over the place. The fact that we're bringing up McDonald's back-to-back episodes, I'm sorry. But
me.
It's me. You roped me into the Bryce Sweet Prince thing, so I'm roping you into the McDonald's thing. It's payback. We were struggling a little bit this morning, not gonna lie. Didn't get to bed till 11. I had some bourbon on this boat. So it was a difficult morning. But we're getting on the road. Paige is like, I need a hash brown. Like I need a hash brown.
I can see where this is going.
So I'm like, okay. So let's get out of town a little bit. Let's get on the road a little bit. And then we'll hit a McDonald's. I hadn't been there for breakfast in a while. I normally go with the McGriddle. I like that one, where it's the little pancakes, bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle. Those are nice. However, I wasn't aware that they had a bagel. Have you seen bagel options in the McDonald's in your area?
Dude, it's all I get. The bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel.
I had no idea.
Elite.
I had it this morning.
It'll change your life.
Hands down, the worst bagel I've ever had.
That's
in my
crazy.
32 years of life. It was, Kyle, I'm telling you right now.
That's crazy.
This it looked like a fake play bagel. Like when you're going through an open house and they put a bowl of fake fruit on the counter. That's what this was, the fake one. They pulled out whatever bagel from whatever section of that McDonald's. It was, I had 2 bites and I had to throw it away. It was like $12 bucks.
Can you tell me, can you drop me a pin and send it to me so I can go pick that up?
It's across the street in the Valero trash can. Which, by the way,
that's crazy.
As I'm filling up gas, someone comes up and starts digging into each trash can at the Valero too. So California, not one of my favorite places personally. But I had no idea that there were bagel. I've never seen a bagel anything at McDonald's before. But I can promise you I'll never be eating that again.
That's crazy.
Ever.
Look, I'm not sitting here saying it's the greatest bagel I've ever had because I'm seeing that I'm taking shots in the chat and I'm not even going to do them the I'm not even going to do them the service of putting them in the chat. But
I'll do it.
Nope. It's not the greatest bagel I've ever had, but I love a good McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese. I'll go ahead and say that right now.
I mean, I know bagels, man. Bagel, that's a top 5 food for me. I could have a bagel every day if it didn't.
As could I.
If it didn't, didn't hurt so much or stop everything so much. The McDonald's one is not it. I know we're running long here, but I'm out of baseball content. So
I can't believe I thought you were really building me up. Honestly, I thought where you were going to take that is I had this great bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, but can you believe the prices of the hash browns at McDonald's? And I was going to be like, yes, Nate, it's crazy, isn't it? And then you just stopped me dead in my tracks as I'm thinking through that, and you hit me with literally the worst. I would rather eat garbage out of the Valero trash can than the bagel that I just put in there.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
Insane.
I was in rough shape and I needed it. And the cheese couldn't be more fresh out of the plastic and not melted. It was the worst.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
What are we doing? Please melt that. I can't have this.
And I will say the egg on those things does look and taste at times like a sponge, but when you put it all together, It somehow
I got
works.
freaked out, man. I got freaked out. Paige got the 2 burritos meal.
Oh,
and
yeah, classic. I think of burritos when I think of
I
McDonald's.
know, right? She loves them. I'm like, those are disgusting.
That's crazy.
And she was like, you can have my other burrito if you want. I'm like,
They're bringing the snack wraps back.
took a bite of it, and that I was like, I'm out. I'm all done with eggs from here. I'm not doing it. So breakfast food, overrated. That's where I'm at. And it was solidified this morning. Outside of bagels.
Dude,
Real bagels.
the hash browns at McDonald's, going back to my original point, it's like $3.50 for one. It used to be $2 for $1.
I know. We've talked about their potatoes, right? McDonald's potatoes.
You don't need to tell me whatever you're about to tell me.
You don't want to know.
Honestly, at this point,
Like the farm. Have I told you about like their farms?
you just want to keep talking until we get to the top of the ninth to see if the Braves get swept.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm in. It's 4-3. Wilmer Flores is up at the moment.
4-3. Let's try and pull it off, I guess.
Yeah. Where were we at?
The farm.
The farm. You haven't told you this yet?
No.
Apparently, the farms, the McDonald's farms where they like grow their potatoes, is sprayed with like a pesticide or something that the farmer can't go on the farm for 2 weeks after it's sprayed. The farmer. It's like a hazmat zone. It's insane.
I'm gonna confirm this.
Look it up, man. Look it up. Anyway, Wilmer Flores flies out. So we need a little rally in the top of the ninth from the Bravos here, and I mean it's not like a crazy thing. Like the Giants aren't a bad team. It's just the fact that this helps.
No, just to
solidify.
Just to solidify here.
Yeah.
No, we don't actually have to make it unless you want to try. But
I'm good.
I'm looking. Some concerns have been raised regarding the use of hazardous materials, specifically pesticides, in the agricultural practices of farms that supply products to McDonald's.
Yep. Told you. I learned it. Let's look up Braves. Wait, Truist.
However, this claim is not
Concessions.
true in the UK, EU, or US, where the use of this pesticide has been banned for years.
Yeah, because we're all about not using pesticides here.
Groups like the Toxic Taters Coalition advocate for McDonald's to require potato suppliers to reduce the use of harmful pesticides and to disclose info about the chemicals used on their crops.
I'm looking at Truist.
Come for the baseball,
concessions.
stay for the McDonald's potatoes talk.
Exactly. I'm looking at the Braves Truist concessions. They have a meatloaf sandwich over at the 1871 grill. That could be interesting. No?
Here's the thing, though. Are they going to change it? No, that'd probably be too much. Like, you don't think they're going to have a special concessions for the All-Star game, right? Do you think they're just rolling
It's
out
possible.
the Braves,
It's
typical
possible.
Braves concessions?
You remember what Chase did to us during the WBC? It was nuts.
What?
It was just D-back dogs everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. Is that what the Braves
That's what
are
I'm
going to
saying.
do?
It's possible. Like I feel like it. I wonder if some of these places just don't pump out the goods, and it's just like
They're just going to hit us.
standard-
They're going to hit us with the standard Braves brat or something.
Yeah, yeah.
A
When's the last
rack
time
of
you got ice cream at a game? By the way, I could.
the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, scoop balls. I told you it went downhill, right?
Don't say that. Don't put that out there.
It's terrible.
I'm looking at the Braves concession guide right now. A full rack of in-house smoked pork, spare ribs,
Just looking at that.
molasses, baked beans, jalapeno, bacon, macaroni and cheese, coleslaw, and a southern style honey butter biscuits.
That's where we're going. The carvery. The carvery.
Carvery.
Section
We're
111.
we're not returning from this All-Star break under 125% of our weight.
I don't feel great about what plumbing is going to be at our hotel. The loaded brisket mac and cheese could do some things. Of course, a Chick-fil-A in there, by the way.
I'm not going to Chick-fil-A in Atlanta.
I'm just saying, of course, there's one there.
No, for sure. But I get, that's like that's Chick-fil-A's hub. I understand, but I'm not wasting a meal.
Coop's Champion Chicken.
In fact, I present to you this challenge. How about we not do a single meal while we're there at
that's a chain?
Any sort of chain.
We balling on a budget or not? Because that doesn't sound like a budget. Just kidding. I spent $30 on McDonald's breakfast this morning, so clearly chains aren't the way to go.
And it was worth it. No, well, you didn't use the app. That was your first mistake.
My first mistake was getting that dang bagel.
The plan, I think, is to just roll with PB&Js for to hold us over. Maybe do a little grocery run when we first get there.
Hey, I don't hate that. Just get a box of Uncrustables.
There you go. Yeah, hold us over, and then we really ball out for our big meals. Because you said you're not even a breakfast guy anyway. I can have something to hold me over.
Hotel.
But then
breakfast.
we really. You keep saying hotel. We're not staying at a hotel. We're ball out for
right,
like
an Airbnb, huh?
Yeah, ball out for like some big dinners.
Can you text me the Airbnb?
Sure.
I want to do a little recon. See how many bathrooms there are.
We're 15 minutes from the park.
Dude, you just do all the work, man. You just do
I've
all
been
of it.
putting so
You just
I've
do
been,
all of it.
I've been putting so much
I'm
work
the
into
worst.
this that Meredith's getting mad at me that I'm not diverting this energy towards planning a trip for her and I. She's like, enough with the All-Star game trip planning.
That's tough. That's
Figure out a
tough
place for us to go this summer. I said, I'm sorry, but I just have to do this.
This is all the more feeding that narrative that our group chat has that we're basically in another
Some
marriage.
Old married couple. Let's see here. I want to know who's going to be at the All-Star game because I'm trying to meet up with some folks. I'd be totally down because we're definitely going to be making our rounds to the memorabilia shops,
Dude.
But
I told you this. I don't mean to say it. I'm the same amount of excited for those shops.
I'm a little offended. The work I've been talking about, this work that I've been putting in for this trip. I'm a little offended that your memorabilia shop runs are bringing you more excitement than
Sorry.
than
Text
the game
me
and a
this
derby.
Airbnb.
All right, I
want to
got you.
see.
Don't go doxing us.
I'm still scrolling, by the way. There's a lot of concession options at Truist.
Don't go doxing us here. I'm gonna send you the. I'll send you the info. Don't go doxing us.
What does that mean?
Don't go putting our address out there. I don't need people knowing where we're staying for the All-Star game. All right, Chappie, can we figure out this hand situation? We got to move on.
Yeah, you're out. Get out of here. Whoa, big yard here. This place.
Yeah, we can play like 1v1 kickball if you want.
Do you have?
I don't know why that image is funny.
Why
to
do
me.
you? Why did you just send me the address, or do you have like an actual Airbnb link, or are we just knocking on this person's door when we get there? Like,
Oh, I thought you just wanted like the address for like proximity.
No,
Do you want the
no.
actual?
Yeah,
I'll send you the.
I need the photos.
I'll send you the thing.
I want to see what's going on the inside there.
Oh, in the chat, throw take wiffle ball. I actually had the idea to do like a little derby or something. See who still got it, you know?
I know I don't.
Well, I don't either, which is what makes it great.
Which could make it worse. Little known secret, by the way, is that like anytime wiffle ball comes around, and I'm like the baseball player, if you're playing with like non-baseball people, just go lefty. And be like, oh, don't worry, guys, I'll go lefty. We'll even things out a little bit. And then if you succeed, they're like, whoa, baseball guy through and through. He's obviously good enough to go lefty. And then if you fail, you're like, this is why I'm doing lefty.
I'm trying to balance it out a little bit.
See, there's some logic to it.
Yeah, dude, we could do a little derby or something. I'm down.
Do you think this memorabilia shop will have the Big Mac bat, and then we get a tennis ball and really lay into some balls there?
I mean, we could Amazon one in, honestly. That's a good question. Let me see. I bet you they're on like eBay for $1,000. No, you could find some. Oh, here we go.
You're just sending me error links.
Oh my goodness, dude. Here.
Oops, an unknown error occurred. All blank.
All right.
That's on you.
Here.
Ain't on me.
What do you think about this? What do you think about getting one of these? That's not the right thing. Get off here. What do you think about adding one of these? What do you think about getting one of these?
I'm gonna struggle if that is like if the Dodger dog is longer than that. I'm gonna struggle. I'm gonna need some length.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't think, bro, they really have an axe bat wiffle ball bat? Are you kidding me? How serious are people getting about wiffle ball?
I've always wanted to play stickball.
No, dude, we gotta go classic. We gotta go classic thin yellow stick.
I'm in. Let's do it.
I mean, that's as American as it gets. Well, behind the Big Mac, the Big Mac attack bat.
Yeah. Run it back. Dude, we haven't done that since we were kids in your backyard, man.
It's been a minute.
There's that sad thought of that, like, what's the thing that like people put on social media where it's like
you went out and played wiffle
like the
ball
last time you didn't.
The last time, didn't even know it. All right, here you go. Here's our
enter a couple broken 30 somethings that are gonna try and run it back. Now it's not the last time.
There's people that are watching this live stream right now that see this picture pulled up and they're like, are we talking wiffle ball?
Just joined in.
What are we doing here?
Oh, nice. This looks like a good situation.
Appreciate.
Great job.
15 minutes from the park.
I see one toilet.
I believe we each have our own.
I see two. Come on. That's what you want.
It's a two bed, two bath. Because, hey, I know you're a bougie traveler, dude. You wouldn't tell me that directly, but you've said things over the years where I'm like, okay, I can't.
That reminds me. Speaking of which, I put zero effort into booking a hotel for this weekend in California.
Big mistake.
The sketchiest hotel
we've
ever stayed in, bro. Like,
can't do it.
Like, walk in the door, lights are flickering. It was insane.
Come on, man. You can't do that with
Ozzy Albies with a knock.
You can't do that with your bride, man. You got to make sure she's taken care of. If it's just us, I think we can hold our own. If
she wasn't thrilled. She wasn't. It was bad.
Yeah, that's not good. You're gonna have to
bad. It was the outdoor one. It was like a motel.
Oh yeah, it was a
motel. It was a Ramada.
Okay, no sympathy for you.
It was like 1.7 miles from the docks of the luxury suite thing that we did, or luxury cruise thing. So yeah, it was not great. But I was like, it's one night. We're just sleeping. Like, we're not spending any time in here. I'm probably going to hear about that for a while.
Yeah, that doesn't help anything.
It was such a budgetary move. And I was like, a mile away, $200, do it. the pictures,
Send it.
The pictures, not bad.
Of
Not
course
bad.
they're not. It's professionally done on a website.
8.2 stars on hotels.com. So who's really getting bamboozled here? You know what I mean?
I'll tell you who's getting bamboozled. Josh in the chat says, "What up? Love being able to join in the live." Josh, you're in for a real treat.
We're out of stuff, man. We're just
Go back and we're just waiting out this Giants Braves game.
see if the Braves get swept.
But literally for the last like 25 minutes, I think we've been talking everything between McDonald's bagels to wiffle ball bats. So
Dom Smith is a Giant. When did that happen?
yeah, he got DFA. Well, that was a response to DFA and Lamont Wade.
That's what I was gonna say. They DFA'd Lamont Wade for this, for Dom Smith.
Hey, no disrespect.
Some disrespect.
Some disrespect. All right, one out to go.
While
While we wait out this Braves loss,
tough punch out call there on Doogie.
yeah, it's Doogie.
Which,
Matter.
yeah, by the way, we tried to warn all the Braves fans of what this was going to be. We started off hot, and we were like, just wait.
I think Braves fans knew. Going back to this, going back to this trip. Any other ideas? Any other ideas for some extracurriculars?
Not a new idea, just to build off of the wiffle ball idea. As far as what's it called? What do you make? Like the video? What's that called?
Like that I do for the trips, for the vlogs? Yeah.
The vlog. See, I told you guys I do nothing. I just show up and talk. Let's not Amazon it. Let's go to Walmart, man. Let's go to Walmart down there and like go shop it and go buy it. I think that really adds to the vlog.
That's fair.
You know?
That's fair.
Like we can't just Amazon it. We gotta go earn this thing.
And we gotta go track down some wiffle balls. Well, that's
we
another
get
question.
Some hacks in the store. Yeah.
That's another question. Do you want to get like the practice golf ball wiffle balls?
No,
or do you want to go just like full red-blooded American wiffle ball?
I mean, it's up to you. You do have the power of editing, so people aren't going to know how many whiffs it took to get to contact.
Oh,
there it is. There's the sweep.
I'll make it known.
That's so rude.
Shout out Braves. Hey, we made it. I didn't think we'd be able to make it to the end of this game, but we talked about hash browns, talked about Amazon. We covered it all here. Gave the people a little bit of entertainment at the end. Let's
watch like maybe like a baseball movie while we're there. Not that adds to the vlog, but like maybe we run like a Sandlot that night we get in. You know what I mean? Sit down with some yummy food,
some grub.
Watch a Sandlot. I might bring my Game Boy, by the way. What do you think of that? That brings it back.
I could bring the Switch. We could play a little.
If we're really trying to turn back the clock, I feel like my way, but.
Okay, well, how am I going to play? How am I going to play a one person? How am I going to play you in a one person Game Boy game?
I used to have backyard baseball. I don't know what happened to it.
Did I tell you I got backyard baseball on mobile? Remember how we talked about it when they announced that they were bringing backyard baseball back? I said when it comes out on mobile, it's game over. And it went on sale. It went on sale over Memorial Day for 99 cents. And I was like, done. And I've been playing it every day.
I mean, there's few times in this podcast life that I've been mad at you, and this is one of them. I'm not thrilled that you're just leaving your co-host in the dark about this discovery. It's long past Memorial Day, and I don't believe that deal is still available, is it?
Let's check. It's probably back to $5.
That's insane.
It's worth it though.
I might still buy it. Yeah.
Actually, I can't tell how much it is because I bought it. So all it says is open the app.
I'll check it out. Backyard baseball, $4.99.
$4.99.
You know what?
Yep.
You owe me something. I don't know what it is.
Shut up. You got a free trip to Cabo. I think you can spare $5 for the greatest game outside of MVP 05, which, by the way, you know what? This is a weird episode. I'm just going to keep it going. Let's talk my MVP 05 dynasty real quick.
Have you won yet?
No, I haven't. I'm 0-7, I believe. I'm averaging 1 run a game. No, 0-8. I'm averaging a run a game. And Nolan Ryan has an ERA of 8 over 2 starts. So that's kind of where I'm at. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays, as it were.
How many controller tosses are we at so far? No, I know you're not an angry guy. You're not going to launch, but I know
I'm not actually throwing it.
There's going to be a toss down.
Oh, the toss. I had that yesterday. I said, I can't, I literally I'm getting, because if you recall in that game, you've got your strike zone as a hitter, and it marks where your hot zones are, your cold zones are. One of my favorite parts. I'm getting pitches like middle in the red, and I've got Ken Griffey Jr. like fouling out to the third baseman. It's like if I can't get on base with a lineup that consists of Ken Griffey Jr., Sammy Sosa, David Ortiz, Yogi Berra, Orlando Cepeda, like I can't get on base with these guys. Orlando Cepeda is carrying my offense right now, and I only have 8 runs on the season. I have like a negative 25 run differential through 8 games. 8 runs scored on the season. I think the next closest, or the next lowest in around the league is like 32.
What's wrong with you, man?
So something's gonna have to change. Honestly, here's my thought. I think what I'm gonna do is, if this continues, I'm gonna turn this in. Like I'm gonna play out the season, and I'm gonna see if I can top the Rockies record. That's my challenge for myself.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
That's the challenge for myself.
Hey, I got a question for you, because I'll say this: you have inspired me with potentially a new idea.
Is this trip related?
No. Well, maybe.
Oh, hey,
that's a good idea.
Ho, what do you got?
Well, you have inspired me to call me crazy. I don't play video games ever, really. Like, there's so much dust on this PS4 in here.
Fair.
But you've inspired me to, like, I wonder if I could just like trade this PS4 for a PS2 and run it back with the classics. Because let's be honest, that was the best. Those games were the best. PlayStation 2 was like the best. But what I was saying for the trip is, if I don't do that, you should definitely fly out with your Xbox.
Dude, okay. Well, if I do that, I may have to check a bag, because
but here's my technical question, by the way.
It's a little bit of a brick.
Is it? Well, here's my follow-up question to that is, like, do those, they still had like the 3 analog red, yellow, white stuff.
Correct.
TVs aren't built for that anymore.
I think they are.
Are they? They're still.
Dude,
I'm gonna do this. I'm getting a PlayStation 2 again. Those are the best days.
I'm telling you, man.
What is this $60 for a game, download it before you can play nonsense? What is that? No. I want to open that freaking tab. I want to see that little lid pop up. I want to place in my disc. I want to close it. I want to hear it. I want all those. I want that back. And there's something about it. I think, like, I don't know. How's Meredith do with you playing Xbox? She's just like, whatever. No big deal.
She wants me to do it more, actually. She's like, you need to get back to the things you enjoy.
My wife doesn't at all. She's like, video games are stupid.
Well, you're golfing like every other weekend, so I kind of get it.
I wish. But I think if I bring in some nostalgia and get like Crash Bandicoot and that kind of stuff, she's gonna
involve her.
She's gonna be back in on that.
That's what happened with the Switch. Meredith, we'll run Mario Kart, we'll run Mario Party. She's into it. But going back to this trip thing, if you traded in for a PS2, I'd be willing to transition to a PlayStation guy for a weekend.
Okay.
Would you bring it to the trip trip?
Okay. Here's another follow-up question. That place that you had down the street that we went into that had like all the classics.
Starland, shout out.
Can maybe when you get a chance, swing by there and see if they have the PS2 Slim, that slim one, and then I'll just Venmo you and be like, yo, pick it up for me, and then fly with that. Because I feel like that I've never been to a place like that here. I've never seen like a classic video game place where you can find everything under the sun.
Dude. It's insane.
They have games, insane amount of consoles, games, and it goes all the way back to classic stuff. It's a great place. I've never seen anything like that here. So maybe do a little recon for me and see, or if you know the website, I can just look up the thing, see if they have it. Because or it's either that or I have to take advantage of somebody on OfferUp. Because I just looked and some people are like $40 PS2. And I'm like, I'll do that right now.
Yeah. If you can find it for that, I'm not getting that.
You don't think?
I'm not getting one for that out here.
Well, the tough thing is just like there's also, the fact of like controllers and games and things like that. Amazon has it for $190. But that's the slim one.
No.
You remember the big boy? The big old PlayStation 2? That thing was just as big as your Xbox.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
We could run some MVP 05 at the All-Star break. We could make that happen.
Yeah.
I have that on my list of ideas for the trip.
Dude, I just found one. PlayStation 2 Slim, both controllers, memory cards, and like 15 games. Tiger Woods 06, 07.
Those Tiger Woods games are elite.
Fantastic. Need for Speed Underground 2.
Oh, another gem.
Yeah. This might have to happen. I'm going to be like, you open for trade. Should I do it?
Oh, yeah.
Be like, yo, you can have my PlayStation 4. I'm all done. I don't need it.
I'm
not into this.
That's fair. At this rate, let's just stream. Let's live stream the Sunday night baseball game.
All day. I got to go build a freaking table.
All right. Well, you go do that. I think we've shared enough extracurricular for now.
I think so.
This was fun. I like this. This was fun. We sort of wrapped up the pod, then just talked about everything under the sun. This is good. We've got a plan in place, man. I'm excited for this trip.
I think so too.
We're like a little over a month away. If you're listening or watching and you're going to be at the All-Star game, let us know.
Sorry, I sent that guy a message.
Smart.
Yeah, dude. We got Sandlot on deck. We've got wiffle ball. We've got memorabilia places, and we have some type of gaming console that's going to be there. That's a good few days. I'm willing to like get no sleep and just go ham on some freaking.
You better be prepared. You better be prepared. This is gonna be a gauntlet of a 4 days. I'm telling you, we got a lot to do in a little amount of time. So prepare your heart.
I'm hyped.
Prepare yourself. It's gonna be
a good trip.
Good.
We're gonna dominate this. Airbnb was such a great call. Perfect. This is great. We're off to a great start already.
Chinook's hooking us up too. We're gonna be giving away some seeds in Atlanta.
Got me through that 12-hour drive I just did. It's a big deal.
Shout them out. All right. Good stuff.
Good stuff, man.
Come for the baseball. Stay for the wiffle ball talk.
And everything else under this.
And everything else. You got anything else for the folks?
No, I think I'm all out, believe it or not. Crazy. Only took 2 hours. What are we at? Almost.
Hour 40.
All right, well. Good luck tonight.
No.
Not really.
Nah.
No.
It's a win-win for me because I literally said before the Yankee-Sox series, I said, I'm not making any bets because this team is not worthy of my time at the moment. But we're a win away from taking the series. So it's really a win-win. So I position myself fantastically.
I'd like to say I have respect for it, but I don't. Who's pitching tonight?
I don't know, dude. Probably Bayo. Is Bayo going tonight? Probably. Hunter Dobbins. Speaking of which,
the crochet matchup.
Speaking of which, barely.
Oh, and Rodon. All
right. Hunter Dobbins. You see his comments where he said if the Yankees, he pulled a King Griffey. He said if the Yankees were the last team to offer me a contract, I'd retire. I'm like, bro, come on. I don't think you're
heard of this guy.
I don't think you're in a position to be going around saying these kinds of things. But hey, credit to him. I mean, I love it.
Oh,
but at the same time, I'm like,
I might bet the over right now.
I don't think you would.
I might bet the over right now. Well, I love it. Is he stuff guy or is he like high velo guy?
He's a not good guy. He's been okay. But outside of crochet, we just haven't had anybody that's like...
Yeah, he's going to get lit. Let's go. Cool. I'm going to go build a table.
His last 3 starts, he's averaging a 5.25, by the way. But anyway...
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Let's get out of here. Hope you enjoyed it, folks. This was...
This was fun.
This was a little out of pocket, but...
You need one every once in a while. This might get people through 2 of their commutes this week.
That's true. That's true.
That's a good way to look at it. All right, I'm out. Don't go chasing curveballs.
Love you all, as always. Looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.